Full disclosure, I've been toiling away for the last couple weeks on business stuff for Second Wind. It was our first birthday celebration on Saturday, so I have been planning that event, working on end of the year wrap-up ideas for the team, and doing a bunch of other stuff you probably don't care about. Couple that with not a whole lot of interesting topics to unpack this week, and generally being exhausted, I decided to write about one of my favorite games that is both relaxing and nostalgic. A franchise that I honestly cannot believe has been allowed to continue lying dormant in the current market.
You could break me open and take my candy, but wouldn't you like something better?
Viva Piñata is a weird game for me. I'm not big into the life sim or farming genres, but the series is one that I fell in love with when the original game was released in 2006. If you've never played the series, it's a cross between Animal Crossing and a creature collector where you take a rustic garden and make it a home for the many piñatas across the land. Each piñata has its own set of needs and wants, so you're constantly working to make the garden inviting enough for them to decide to visit and then become residents. As you unlock new items, expand the garden, and add residents, more and more piñata creatures begin to appear and want to make your garden their home. The simplicity of the farming gameplay, coupled with the constant drip feed of new items, mechanics, and creatures to attract to the garden, was intoxicating for me. Even today, when I play the game, this little sound cue and cutscene that announces the arrival of a new piñata makes me feel like a kid again.
Congratulations!
While the core loop was centered around simplicity, there was also a ton of depth to the game. It had all kinds of secrets to find that required the player to do a lot of experimentation with the game's mechanics. I don't want to spoil them for you if this video convinces you to grab the game off Xbox Game Pass, but definitely take some time to mess with the fertilizer or use the shovel on certain characters for some fun surprises. Viva Piñata also served as a nice vibe shift as I got the game for Christmas in 2006 alongside Gears of War. In between sessions of chainsawing locusts and hearing lots of bad words at my grandma's house, I would turn Viva Piñata on for a bit to prove to my parents that video games weren't going to turn me into some monster child. Viva Piñata was considered a success by Xbox, with the original selling around 1.5 million copies over its lifespan, and it was notable for being a family-friendly experience during the time when most big Xbox games were focused on gritty realism, or the brown and gray era of video games. Heck, even the box for Viva Piñata was unique. It was round at the top. Look at this weird thing.
I'm a magical piñata.
For what it's worth, Xbox did try to make Viva Piñata a big staple of the brand. In 2007, a spin-off game, Viva Piñata Party Animals, was released. In 2008, Rare released Trouble in Paradise, which was more of an expansion or definitive edition of the original game than a true sequel, but was received well regardless. The series even made its way to the Nintendo platform with a release on the DS called Pocket Paradise in 2008. Oh, and there was a TV show too that managed to somehow get 2 seasons before being cancelled. I've never personally seen it, but it just goes to show Xbox did put quite a bit of effort and backing into the Viva Piñata IP.
And if you get me down from here, I'll grant you all your wishes.
Sadly though, that's where things ended for the franchise, as Trouble in Paradise didn't sell well enough to warrant a third mainline entry, and Party Animals and Pocket Paradise weren't sales success stories either. I truly believe that Viva Piñata was a franchise that was just well ahead of its time, though, and if reintroduced today would be a massive hit considering the current market and the absolute deluge of cozy farm sims and creature collectors that are currently available and upcoming. Not to mention it's a franchise, and stick with me here as I put my business shill hat on, that would be very viable as a live service game today. Introducing new biomes to build farms at, new creatures over time to collect, new items to the game world, cooperative gardens. Yes, I have thought about this many times now, and I am sorry for putting the idea of another live service game into the world. Anyway, the current rumor is the new game Rare is working on, Everwild, may in fact be heavily inspired by Viva Piñata. So that's something to keep an eye on, as the game's original trailer signaled it might be some sort of survival-like experience, but Video Game Chronicles Andy Robinson indicates that's not the case, and it's more Viva Piñata-like. Everwild may still be a ways off though, as it was originally revealed in 2020 and completely rebooted in 2021. The last time we heard about it was potentially targeting a 2024 release, but clearly, that's not happening. Thankfully, as of last month, Windows Central's Jez Corden, who is a reliable source for Xbox-related news, said that development is going well and that its gameplay loop has been nailed down now.
Just get me down and it's all yours. Come on. Come on.
Viva Piñata is one of those games that I return to quite often, as it has aged extremely well and really just hasn't been replicated by any other game series yet. There are some indies that scratch the itch, like Horticular or Wildmender, but nobody has quite nailed the utterly addictive gameplay loop that Viva Piñata had for me yet. If you have Xbox Game Pass and need a cozy game to play this holiday season, give Viva Piñata a shot. It truly is a very unique game that I think a lot of people missed out on over the years.
Just so we're clear, kids, I'm not magical.
Giddy up! Yeah! That was acting, children! Bravo for me!
Oh, this video is brought to you by Mind Cop, a new non-linear whodunit detective game where your greatest weapon is that big old beautiful brain of yours. A brutal killer is on the loose. You only have 5 days to catch them, and every action you take comes at a time cost. So think before you act and choose your moves carefully. Thankfully, you're not just some regular schmuck detective racing against the clock. You're a Mind Cop. What's a Mind Cop, you ask? Well, it's like a time cop, but instead of Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the splits, you use your Mind Cop abilities to sneak into the heads of suspects, mind surf into a psychedelic abstract dream space to solve a variety of puzzles and explore their sea of thoughts. This gets you clues and conversation topics to use in your investigation, so you're not doing the splits, you're doing the mind splits. Mind Cop is available now on PS5, Nintendo Switch, and Steam, so head on over to the link in the description and start your investigation today.
Thanks for watching this episode of Unpacked. It's not my typical video I would make, discussing industry topics or breaking down some big news story, but I had a good time making it regardless, and I hope you enjoyed it. This past Saturday was the first anniversary of Second Wind, and I'm extremely proud of this team and everything that we've accomplished over the first year. If you haven't already, do consider joining us over on Patreon, as it helps make sure we're sustainable for the years to come. And we get to keep making cool content like this, and stuff like the Animal documentary, Metal Gear Untold, and a bunch of other cool things they haven't seen yet, like Adventures Night Season 4. Goodbye!